and I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming. Bird. He goes to the right. Bird. He makes the shot. Bird. I said, God damn, who is Bird?
He played the Superman theme when he was talking about him that night after the game. He did everything, right. Points, rebounds, assists.
But Larry Bird was cold. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him.
And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts, you know?
There's no real evidence that LeBron James and Kevin Durant mocked Michael Jordan's legacy on a podcast or that Larry Bird reacted to it, but fans often turn debates like this into dramatic narratives online. In reality, all three players have publicly shown respect for past legends while still defending their own eras and achievements. Bird's career 13 seasons marked by injuries, toughness, and relentless competitiveness is well documented and often used as a benchmark for old-school basketball intensity. At its core, this is less about actual events and more about ongoing fan arguments over how different generations define greatness in the NBA.
Go ahead.
So you want me to pay you $30 million to play 30 games? Hell no.
Right.
No. 80 games is fine, because I did it, Jerry West did it, Kareem did it, Magic did it, Bird did it, Bernard King, like all the great legends before us did it, and they didn't make any money, and these guys are making
During his career, Larry Bird achieved 3 championships, 3 MVP awards, 12 All-Star selections, and 9 All-NBA first-team honors, all while battling severe back injuries that often left him in extreme pain during games. Despite the physical toll, he continued to perform at an elite level, even in his later seasons when his body was heavily limited, but he was still capable of producing around 20 points per game. Eventually, Bird stepped away from the game not in search of records or longevity, but because his body could no longer handle the demands of professional basketball, closing out a career defined by toughness, skill, and determination.
Lars Gilmore told me one time, he played for Chicago, he said, if you expect to play a long time in this league, you better quit mopping up the floor. I thought, well, he's crazy, because that's what basketball is all about.
There has been a lot of online interpretation around a podcast moment involving LeBron James and Kevin Durant, where fans say Durant made a pointed comment comparing different career paths and LeBron reacted with laughter. In reality, these kinds of discussions are often part of long-running media debates about legacy, longevity, and championships rather than evidence of any coordinated shade or hidden intent. Clips can easily be taken out of context, especially when two superstars are casually talking and reacting in real time. What it really reflects is the ongoing fan-driven argument about how to measure greatness across eras, with Jordan, LeBron, and Durant frequently at the center of those comparisons.
Yeah, I'm 10, 12 years in, I got 4 MVPs and 4 championships, but do I still want to do this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Because you know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Right?
Yeah. And then I want to come back. Well, some people say I'm going to go 22 straight.
Michael Jordan's first retirement in 1993 is widely documented as coming after an emotionally and physically exhausting period in his life, not simply as a casual decision to step away from basketball. That summer, he experienced the devastating loss of his father, James Jordan, which deeply affected him. In that context, Jordan chose to leave the NBA at the peak of his dominance and briefly pursue baseball, a sport he and his father had shared a connection with and had talked about during his life. Because of that history, comparisons or comments that reduce his retirement to a simple "he quit" narrative often leave out important personal context. Over time, this has become part of the larger debate around how players from different eras are discussed, especially when legacy, longevity, and personal circumstances get blended into media soundbites and fan interpretations.
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all.
Kevin Durant's comment is often interpreted by fans as a comparison of career choices and longevity in the NBA, especially when placed alongside LeBron James' long and consistent run at the top level. However, discussions like these usually get simplified in media clips, where tone and context can easily shift how a statement is perceived. Durant's career path, including leaving Oklahoma City after a finals loss and joining Golden State, has long been a major talking point in basketball debates, often framed differently depending on perspective. In reality, these conversations reflect ongoing fan arguments about loyalty, championships, and legacy rather than a clear or unified judgment on any one player's career decisions.
Coming to practice, he's on one leg. He was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. Wow. And so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so you're like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit up? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the credit? I got to be there.
The debate around LeBron James and Kevin Durant has been fueled by fan interpretation of their podcast comments and long-running arguments about loyalty, legacy, and how greatness is judged in different NBA eras. Durant's moves from Oklahoma City to Golden State, and later stops in Brooklyn and Phoenix, are often criticized by fans, just as LeBron's decisions to leave Cleveland for Miami, return, and then join the Lakers are also heavily discussed. Both players have also spoken in support of modern practices like load management, which they say helps preserve longevity in a demanding league, while critics argue it reflects a shift away from the old-school mentality of playing through adversity.
Play basketball 2.5 hours a day, 3 hours a day. Right? That's your job. That's what you get paid to do as an NBA player. What are you doing the other 21 hours? I mean, to me, that's when you should be preparing for your next day of work.
The idea behind that quote is a very old-school view of professional basketball, that being an NBA player isn't just about the 2 to 3 hours you spend on the court, but about how you use the rest of your day. In reality, NBA players already treat it that way. Practices, film sessions, treatment, recovery, travel, media obligations, and sleep routines take up most of the remaining time. The other 21 hours are usually packed with recovery work, studying opponents, strength training, and maintaining their bodies so they can handle the physical demands of back-to-backs and playoff intensity. So while the statement sounds simple, play hard, then prepare harder, the modern NBA already operates like a full-day profession where what happens off the court is just as important as what happens during the game.
Artis Gilmore told me one time, he played for Chicago, he said, if you expect to play a long time in this league, you better quit mopping up the floor. And I thought, well, he's crazy, because that's what basketball is all about.
LeBron James has talked about how championships dominate basketball discussions, arguing that greatness should also include longevity, consistency, and overall impact, not just rings alone. Larry Bird, from a very different era, represented an all-in mindset where winning every single game mattered more than anything else, even if it meant risking his body on every play. Stories about Bird ignoring advice to protect his health reflect that old-school mentality of sacrificing everything for the immediate result. In the end, it's not really a contradiction, but a difference between modern players who manage long careers and past generations who prioritized winning in the moment above everything else.
You know, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass off to get a ticket.
Michael Jordan entered the NBA in 1984 with an immediate all-in mindset, famously playing all 82 games as a rookie during a physically demanding era with tougher travel conditions and far fewer resources than players have today. He even shared stories of pushing through injuries early in his career, choosing to play through pain rather than sit out because he wanted to prove himself and make an impact from the start. That same mentality was shared by many stars of his generation, including players like Larry Bird, who are known for prioritizing competition and winning over rest or long-term load management. In contrast, the modern NBA operates with advanced medical staff, private travel, and sports science support, yet players participate in fewer full 82-game seasons than in the past, reflecting a shift toward career preservation and structured rest compared to the earlier eras of the league.
What I think is actually quite bullshit myself is to incorporate something at this point.
In today's NBA, availability has become a major talking point, to the point where teams often celebrate when their stars reach around 65 games in a season instead of aiming for the traditional 82. As load management has become more common, criticism from fans and analysts has grown, but many players have pushed back in response. Draymond Green, for example, has publicly dismissed the criticism as nonsense, arguing that managing workload is necessary in a long and physically demanding season. The result is an ongoing divide between those who value old-school durability and those who see rest and recovery as essential to sustaining modern careers.
I mean, definitely forcing players to play. We saw what happened with the Joel, but it's something that probably league wants to. I don't know.
Nikola Jokic has also spoken about the challenges of a long NBA season, suggesting that the physical demands can make it difficult for players to stay at their best without proper rest and recovery. His comments are generally less about avoiding competition and more about recognizing how intense the modern schedule and playoff workload can be. This ties into the wider league debate, where some players and coaches support rest and load management as necessary for health and performance, while others argue it disrupts continuity and takes star players off the court too often for fans.
Yeah, because I know he's probably yelling at me and I want to shut him up. So if the guys are coming to watch me play, I don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, physically, if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But physically, if I can do it, and I just don't feel like doing it, that's a whole different lens.
Larry Bird came from an era where playing through pain was seen as part of the job, even at the cost of long-term health. Throughout his career, he dealt with severe back issues that eventually required treatments like epidural injections just to stay on the court, and he still continued competing at a high level whenever he was physically able. That willingness to push through injury reflects the old-school mentality that valued immediate competition and winning above everything else. In contrast, today's NBA places much more emphasis on recovery, medical management, and preserving players' careers over time, which is why the approach to injuries and rest looks so different compared to Bird's generation.
I twist my ankle, and I had a teammate, David Greenwood. He says, you twist your ankle, young fella, come over and sit with me. You need to. I said, no, man, I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play. I want to win. I want to make an impact.
Michael Jordan has often described the NBA as a full-time profession built around preparation, not just a few hours spent on the court during games. In interviews, he's emphasized that while actual game time may only last a couple of hours, the rest of the day is about recovery, training, studying opponents, and getting ready to perform again at the highest level. His mindset reflects a belief that playing in the NBA is a privilege that comes with responsibility and a commitment to compete every night, not just when it feels convenient. That philosophy shaped his career approach and is often used as an example of the older generation's emphasis on accountability, discipline, and constant readiness.